Okay, hi, how are you? Classwork sheet 16. Rashi, 7 Rashis to do. Let's review them. They're at the end of Parshat Shelach. Says Rashi, Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk Lamed. No, Pasuk Chav Zayin, I'm sorry. Rashi, Pasuk Chav Zayin says, Zavad Chalav Udvash, it was a land flowing of milk and honey. Says Rashi, Kol Davar Sheker, every matter of lying, She'ein Omer Bo Ksas Emes, that you don't start off with some truth. Ein betchila, so in the beginning, ein mitkayim besofo, does not get established, doesn't remain at the end. If you start off with lies, no one's going to believe you. You start with a little truth, people believe you. That's why these Meraglim started with a little bit of lying first. They said, a little bit of truth at first. They said, it's a land of Zavad Chalav Dvash, it's flowing of milk and honey. Then people started believing them. Next Rashi, Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk Chavtet, Amalek Yoshev. Why did they start off saying that Amalek is dwelling in Israel? Why not start off with other nations? Says Rashi, Lefi shenichvu, because they were burnt, be'amalek kvar, with Amalek already, his kiru meraglim, they mentioned it, the meraglim, gedei leyorim, to get them scared. They said, oh, remember we fought Amalek once in the desert? They're in Israel again, we're going to fight them again, you want that? Scared them. Again, I'm in these Rashi sheets, classwork sheet 16. Continuing, Rashi, Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk Lamed, Kalev got their attention. How? What does the Rashi say? Vayahas Kalev. What does Vayahas mean? Says Rashi, Hishtik es kulam. He silenced everyone. That's how he got them quiet. What did he say? Says Rashi, Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk Lamed, El Moshe. He said something to Moshe. What did he say? Rashi says, Lishmoa, they wanted to listen, Mashi Yidaber b'Moshe, what he would say about Moshe. Tzavach v'amar, Kalev screamed and said, V'chizo bilvada salonu ben Amram. Is this alone? Levad means alone. Is this all that Asalanu ben Amram, that Ben Amram did? Is that all he did? Notice how he called Moshe by the name Ben Amram, the son of Amram. Very derogatory way to speak about Moshe. Hashomeh hayasavur, the one listening was thinking, Shebalis saper, that he was coming to speak. Bignuso, Gnai means in a derogatory way. Umitoch shahaya belibam al Moshe, and because in their heart they already had some negative feelings about Moshe. Bishvil divrei meraglim, because of the words of meraglim, shasku kulim, everyone was quiet to hear the shmoa gnuso, to hear derogatory stuff, negative stuff about Moshe. Amar, but then he said good stuff. Velo karalanu sayam, he split the yamsu for us. V'horilanu saman, he brought down the man for us. V'higizlanu et slav, and he spread out the meat for us when we needed the meat, the slav. So Kalev started off with bad stuff. He sounded like he was going to say something bad. That's how we got everyone's attention. But then he started saying only wonderful things about Moshe Rabbeinu. Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk Lamed Beis. The Meraglim said back, no, it's a bad land. Eretz Ochelet Yoshveh. It's a land that eats its inhabitants. What does he mean by that? Says Rashi. B'chol makom she'avarnu, every place that we passed. Pasuk Lamed Beis. Metzanum kovrei mesim. We found them burying their deads. So obviously it's a very bad land. There's diseases all over the place. It's a land that eats its inhabitants. People are dying all over the place. But why did this happen? Says Rashi. V'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, again, Pasuk Lamed Beis. Asa Latova, did it for the best, did it for good. Kedei Latardim, to keep them busy and occupied, Be'evlam, with their mourning. V'lo yitnu leiv, they won't give their heart, La'elu, to these people. So Rashi says that Hashem was doing it for their benefit. But the land was not diseased in any way. Perek Yud Daled, now we're skipping to Perek Yud Daled, Pasuk Lamed Gimel. All the way to Yud Daled, chapter 14, Pasuk Lamed Gimel. Rashi here discusses now the punishment. We know, we said in class that Hashem wanted to punish them in a very harsh punishment, killing all the Jews and starting in with Moshe. Moshe prayed, Hashem took that punishment away. But the final punishment was 40 years traveling in the desert. Why 40 years? Says Rashi. Actually, Rashi says, what's so good about 40 years? Says Rashi. Arbaim Shana, Perek Yud Daled, Pasuk Lamed Gimel. Lo meit echad mehem, not one of them died, pachot mi ben shishim, less than 60 years old. Which is a good thing in a way. Lekach nigzar arbaim, this is why it was decreed 40 years. Kidei shehiyu otam, so that those shel bnei Esrim, who were 20 years old, magiyim lechal shishim, would reach the age of 60. People don't realize this, but people lived at least 60 years old, even the ones who were punished by death. If someone was 30, 40, or 50 when this happened, they might have lived a nice long life till 70, 80, 90. But someone who was 20 would be guaranteed to live till at least 60. That was another way of Hashem's chesed. Last Rashi, Perek Yud Daled Pasuk Lamed Zayin, the Meraglim died, Rashi says, the Pasuk says actually, B'magefa lifnei Hashem, in a plague before Hashem. What does that mean before Hashem? Everything's before Hashem. Rashi explains, Be'osa misa, with that death, ha'aguna lahem, that was fitting for them, mida keneged mida, measure for measure. Heim chatu belashon, they sinned with their tongue, v'nishtarbev lashonam, and their tongue extended ataburam, till their stomach. V'tolaim yotzim ilshonam, and bugs and flies were coming out of their tongue, ubaim, and entered l'toch taburam, into their stomach. Lekach nemar b'magefa, that's why it says b'magefa, with the plague. V'lo nemar b'magefa, it didn't say in a plague, it was a very specific plague. V'zer lifnei Hashem, that's why it says before Hashem. Everything's before Hashem. But you know why the pasuk says lifnei Hashem? This was specifically before Hashem. It means it was in Hashem's special way. Be'osa ha'ru'uya lahem, that which was fitting for them. Al pi midosav, based on the midos, on the methods, shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of Hashem, shehu moded mida keneged mida, that Hashem measures out punishments measure for measure. That's why it says lifnei Hashem. It was specifically before Hashem, in Hashem's special way of punishing. Good luck. That was classwork sheet 16, Rashi's. Have a good day.